Hey guys, Chauncey Phillips here with my review of the Goosebumps movie. This is a movie that I've been really looking forward to, to seeing, really hoping it was going to be good. Ever since I heard they were going to be doing this, I grew up with the Goosebumps books and the Goosebumps TV series. I remember, going to the Scholastic Book Fair and always getting the new books, those little pamphlet things they would hand out too, that they would kind of advertise like Scholastic things coming up, and I would always, order things from that. I have all these kind of memories of that. I actually even saw Goosebumps live on stage as a kid. I think they only had it for like a year, or not even a year. It was really a short-lived thing. And the one guy from the Addams Family, the movie, who's like, "Damn you, Addams!" He was like the star of that show. The Goosebumps live on stage show. I always remember that, buying that, Goosebumps voice changer thing that they sold there, and really excited too because there wasn't a whole lot of Goosebumps memorabilia you could actually buy. And I remember getting those things there. I remember too going to MGM. Now it's just called Hollywood Studios. Back when they had the Goosebumps little show there, and the thing where you could kind of get your face cut into, photoshopped into Goosebumps books, and they had like Goosebumps characters there and a little Goosebumps show outside and all kinds of stuff. So I've always been a fan of the books and the TV series, especially, too, the first, kids kind of horror series which I was a fan of was Are You Afraid of the Dark, which came before Goosebumps. But both of them kind of have a similar vibe, although Goosebumps kind of would end a lot more depressing sometimes, or things would end really bad. Afraid of the Dark didn't end as much like that. Goosebumps like to kind of end with a kid stuck somewhere, or something really gone wrong, or they're never going to get back, or they're trapped and things like that. I kind of always like that too, that they kind of just sort of didn't care about having happy endings or things like that. But this movie is basically taking all of the known kind of big characters from the books and the series and putting them all into one world. The movie's basically about this kid who ends up moving to a new neighborhood. He ends up becoming friends with a girl that lives next door, and her father is R.L. Stine. He's like, "I don't want you seeing that boy," and R.L. Stine's character, or Jack Black's character, is always yelling at the kid, telling him not to come by. Bad things are going to happen to him if he comes by. And then one night he ends up hearing the girl scream and thinks that Jack Black's character has done something bad to her or hurt her, calls the police, and the police don't do anything. Nothing comes of it. And of course, one night, him and his friend end up, breaking into the house when Jack Black leaves, because they fake being the police and get Jack Black out of the house. And of course, they go in there, start messing around in the house, and find all these locked up books, which are all the original Goosebumps manuscripts. And one of the books ends up getting opened, and that causes a whole chain of events of literally all the monsters getting released. And that's basically all I want to say about it. But basically, it's them having to try and get the monsters and figure out what they're going to do to stop them, because they go and run havoc all around the entire town. And there's a whole lot of different ones too that pop up. The memorable characters and things like that. And they even had a scene in it too, set at a theme park. It wasn't Horrorland, but it was like a close kind of thing to it. I actually, like I said, really liked this. Was not disappointed by this, and it also isn't one of those movies too where I feel like if you're an adult, you're not going to like it. I think it's a movie, too, that kids are going to like this, adults are going to like this. It doesn't play to just kids and be one of those kind of things that's really kiddish or anything like that. It's got some adult kind of humor in there as well. I really, like I said, really would recommend this one. I didn't see the 3D one, but I can imagine that the 3D would actually probably be pretty cool for this one, because there's a lot of different stuff coming out and things like that. And sometimes people go, "Oh, you're mad about the CGI and things like that." It didn't really bother me for this, because for what it was, I can't imagine how else they would have done a lot of the things in this, the big creatures and stuff like that. And there were a lot of practical monsters and things like that as well in the movie going around when they all get released and things like that. But overall, I would really recommend you guys check this out, especially if you love the books as a kid and you love the TV show. I do hope too that this kind of brings more interest too to the classic series, and we start to see other ones released, because like Haunted Mask is not on DVD as far as I know. Haunted Mask 2 is. For some reason, Haunted Mask 1 is. In the UK, they have a complete series set of all of them, but it's a region 2 set. So hopefully sometime down the line we get like a complete series of all of them. I would love to have that, even if they really charge high on it. Still, I would like to just have them all together in one thing. But anyway though, guys, let me know what you guys think. of the film if you guys have got to check it out. Let me know too any of your Goosebumps memories and things like that, what you guys remember about the show growing up. Like I said, I have such high, positive and good memories of it too, especially like I said, seeing it live on stage and going to the book fairs and buying the books. And I always loved the two though. Some of them had those choose your own adventure things and stuff like that. Always at school too, like when I had to like do a reading thing because I never was a huge reader. I would always, read the Goosebumps books. It was like, well, these are kind of fun and kind of have a Stephen King kind of vibe, and they even reference Stephen King in this movie. And also be on the lookout too, R.L. Stine does have a cameo in the movie as well, which I thought was really cool that he actually has a little quick cameo in the movie. But I would definitely recommend you guys check this out. Anyway though, guys, thanks again for watching and subscribing, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.